Welcome back to the podcast, guys, where we dive into how the wellness industry is shifting and what that means for practitioners, clients, and the future care. I'm your host, Nadia Karu, and today I'm thrilled to have Maitri Patel join us. She is the founder and CEO of State of Wellness. And at State of Wellness, they design turnkey wellness platforms that go beyond gadgets. They aim to transform how health, wellness, and businesses operate, delivering services and engaged. So Maitri has been at the intersection of technology, business strategy, and wellness. She helps clinics, spas, recovery labs, and longevity practices adopt solutions that not only improve client outcomes, but also reshape the client experience. Maitri, it's great to have you.
Thank you so much. That's such a wonderful introduction. I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. So to start off, would you like to share a bit about yourself, about your role, and how it fits into the bigger picture at State of Wellness?
Yeah, absolutely. So, State of Wellness is my newest baby. We launched that just over a year ago here in Perth, in Australia, but we do service clients all across the world. So, we mainly manufacture and distribute machines in the wellness and the biohacking industry. And always, while designing our machines, our focus is on creating the maximum value for our clients. So, not just businesses, but the end user as well. So, we are all about efficiency, about combining multiple modalities into one treatment. For example, our flagship equipment, which is called the TerraOrb, it is the world's first 12-in-1 biohacking orb. We even call it the superhuman pot. So in this, we have 12 different modalities combined in one. Because I've had a couple other businesses in the past, and what we have noticed is everyone these days, whether it is a millennial or a Gen Z or a senior, all of us are time poor. So I would love to, indulge myself into 5 hours at a recovery center to do red light therapy, PEMF, infrared, all the beautiful, wonderful things. Science has that out there to help us feel better. But unfortunately, we all lack time. And that is what gave us the idea to create one machine that encompasses about 12 different modalities in one. So in a 30-minute session, I'm getting the benefits of all of these. So this is not only helping our main clientele, which is businesses such as fitness centers, spas, Pilates studios, beauty spaces, to maximize their revenue and add a revenue growth stream, but also the end client because they get maximum benefits just in a 30 minutes treatment instead of spending 5 hours at a space.
That's beautiful. It sounds very efficient in every way possible. What were those modalities you're talking about? Could you list them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, our main hero one is the full body red light therapy, which is absolutely brilliant, great for anti aging, reducing inflammation at a cellular level. Full spectrum infrared. So, in infrared, there is lots of different frequencies that come in play. Infrared has been around for nearly about 50, 60 years across the globe,
Yeah.
but there's different wavelengths in it. So the one that we use is called a full spectrum. So it's got all the three wavelengths, which is the mid, far, and near. Then we have PEMF, which is great to recharge mitochondria, which is the powerhouse at a cellular level for every single one of us. Then we have something called negative oxygen ion, which is anyone who suffers with any conditions to do with the lungs or respiratory system really helps to open that up. We also have incorporated ozone cleaning. So our machines have self-cleaning. Ozone gas is something that is used in operation theaters to disinfect everything. And we use the same ozone gas in our machines to disinfect it after every use, just to make sure all the bacteria and everything is killed. And then on top of that, we have photon therapy. Photon therapy also is another light wavelength, a little bit different to red light therapy, but works great to improve your circulation. And we have had, luckily, because through my other businesses, we have been able to test these modalities firsthand, and we have had lots of client feedback. And I'm very happy to report that 10 out of 10 were very happy with our new machine, which we introduced last year. And it has been great just seeing it hands on and seeing that big difference it makes to people's lives.
That sounds amazing. And so I'm guessing it doesn't require any staff or anything. It's just you can
Correct.
place
Yes.
it anywhere.
So, the way where we design it, because going forward, as you can see with the growth of AI, everything is now sort of, turning into 24/7 or automation. And that's what we were focused on, is to reduce the amount of staffing hours we can have. And we have helped a couple of businesses turn their operations completely into 24/7, which is staffless and contactless. So for business, that means it's great for the bottom line. You can rely more on automation. And for the end clientele, it is absolutely brilliant because it is more affordable because the businesses can put the cost down as they don't have the staff to employ. But for the end user, it's just the sheer convenience. We all are time poor, and wellness is the thing that always goes outside the door because you're just so busy, living, working, trying to eat healthy, trying to exercise. And wellness always is like, yeah, I'll do this when I have time. I'll do it once a month or something. But we should really be indulging in this every week because that's when most of us would get to a burnout. And that's why I'm, automating everything and making it 24/7 gives access to the end user as well to make sure that wellness fits into their schedule and not the other way around.
That's a very good point you made. Wellness, people want to prioritize it, but it does oftentimes just gets pushed to the side. You having this orb where it can do multiple different things all at once. All we need is 30 minutes. So that can literally fit into anyone's schedule. It targets loads of points in one go. So yeah, it's a really good product you have there.
Yeah, thank you.
So what major shifts are you noticing in the industry right now? And what are you noticing?
So I've been sort of in the wellness and the biohacking space for about 7 years. I have two locations of wellness centers that I also run through one of my
Hmm.
other businesses. And we've definitely noticed because, we had to ride the wave of COVID. We were in talks with the health department, with the government when COVID hit. And luckily, because of the modalities that we have, they are completely contactless. We were allowed to be open even when COVID was there. Because now,
Amazing.
let's say, for example, I have a client who has a really bad back, needs to see the physio on a weekly basis. But come COVID, they couldn't do it because that's a one on one and there's touching. Whereas they could come and do a session with us. We're helping them, very similar benefits as going to a chiro or a physio, but again, in a contactless setting. So that really, helped us look at a whole different perspective. And then another angle that we have sort of noticed a shift is we've had lots of clientele who are shift workers. They could be nurses, doctors. Where we are based in WA, we have a segment of society called the FIFO workers, which are fly in, fly out. So they work on the mine site, they're working crazy hours. So when they come back to Perth, they're completely broken and so much inflammation in their body. Their sleep cycle is all across. And we just need, back to back a session every day to reset them back into normal lives. So we've noticed a huge change in our clientele really wanting that convenience. And like I mentioned before, wellness is always that was put at the bottom of the barrel because I just don't have the time. So we knew if we could combine the convenience with the science and tech, we really have a winning product for everybody.
That is wonderful. Wow. And I wanted to ask you too, what made you get into all this? What made you start these businesses?
Thanks for that question. That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
questions. So I've been a dancer all my life, and I have another business, which is a dance school that I've run for about 14 years. And I have broken my left ankle twice, and I've had two surgeries. And my last surgeon
Wow.
said that you won't be able to, fully go back to dance again. And I told him, watch me, because I need to dance. So that's what I do. I love it. I can't imagine
Yeah.
my life without it. And this was 7.5, nearly 8 years ago. And that's when I really sort of got into researching alternative options because I was done with surgeries. I was done with cortisol injections. I just wanted to find something else out there, which is alternative, which is non invasive, that can help me reduce that inflammation. And I fully understand that, my ankle is never going to be 100%. But if
Mm.
I can manage it in a holistic way. And through the research, that's when I found out about what is biohacking, what red light can do for you, what infrared can do for you. And, I'm a big believer myself into everything that's holistic and non invasive. And that really sort of, got me interested in this. Found the first machine that we used for our wellness center in America on a holiday. And I tried 2 sessions myself. My ankle felt like it was brand new. I was, 18 again. I could
Wow.
dance. And of course, a couple of days, the inflammation comes back. But then you do a session, it goes back down. So even now, when I still teach some advanced classes, so when I teach a class at the end of the 60 minutes, I have a swollen left ankle. But then I go and do a 30-minute session. It all drains out and my ankle has full mobility and it's back to normal. So that's how
Wow.
this journey began. And I wasn't sure if I really wanted to turn this into a business because it was more a personal quest. I just wanted to, fix my personal problems. And I think sometimes the best businesses comes from those sort of ideas. So I
Yes.
decided that I'll get one of those machines. And luckily, because I had a large dance studio space, I just divided up that space and just had a little small room set up, made an Instagram page for that. And the first month we went viral. We had 76 bookings. And that's when it sort of really flicked like a switch in my head. And I went, there's a lot of broken people out there who
Yeah.
need help with this. And then it slowly turned into business. And then we found some other modalities. The other one that we distribute is called the Active Roll, which is a full body lymphatic drainage massage, but completely contactless. So it is European, and that's the one we combine it with our TerraOrb. And we find that clients get the most benefits in a 60-minute session when they do a 30-minute on the active roll to begin with, which is lymphatic drainage massage, gets your circulation going, great to reduce cellulite, muscle recovery. An active roll, it's like a giant foam roller on steroids, but it's all automated. So you do that first, and then you go into the Terra Up to relax, reset, rejuvenate at a cellular level for the next 30 minutes. So anywho, that's how my journey began. So was a dancer, had an injury, began the studio, and the machines that we were using were American earlier. Or we're doing the business for nearly 6 years. We had so much feedback from clients. For example, our earlier machines that we used to use were a sleeping pod, and the lids were very heavy. So we have quite often lots of senior clients who come to us for pain management, arthritis, autoimmune conditions. So for them, it was really hard to push the lid to step out. So when I decided that I really wanted to create my own invention, we, changed the setting. We made it smaller. We made it more compact. We made it in a seated way. So it's much easier if anybody has disability or, it's just harder for them with back troubles. This is much more easier. So with all that learnings and feedback we've had over 7 years, we designed our own. And then I started the journey of State of Wellness.
Amazing. So it sounds like it really is for everyone. You've covered all
Yes.
bases there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And such a beautiful story you have, how it inspired you and you found this product in America and it helped your ankle and now you're giving out the same, giving the same results you've had to other people, which is still non-invasive. So it really doesn't take much time or anything at all, which is
Yeah.
wonderful. Such an inspiring story. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Gen Z is often more health aware, socially conscious, and tech fluent, rather than previous generations. So, how do you see these traits influencing not just what wellness services are offered, but how they're delivered? And what's one example you've seen where a business got it right or wrong when you're trying to appeal to Gen Z?
Yeah, so I think that will tie in beautifully with what we have recently done with our wellness center. So we made that change happen 3 months ago. There we completely went online and it was all 24/7. Until then, we used to have about 20% of our users were Gen Z. And now, just in 3 months, that percentage has gone up to 40%, nearly 42%, which is great. And I think one of the biggest drivers in that is, firstly, it's the convenience of the 24/7 access. And what the other thing I've noticed from chatting to our clients, especially our Gen Z clients, is unfortunately in the recovery space, a lot of spaces where you visit clinics can be a bit intimidating because sometimes the staff is a bit pushy. They're constantly, wanting to sort of sell you more products or upgrade you. Whereas when you come to a recovery center, the reason why you are there is because you are running low on energy. You're burnt out. I do not have energy to deal with another human, even just answer the question like how my day was. I don't need it because I'm so tired. I just want
Yeah.
to get my recovery on to replenish myself. Whereas with the 24/7 concept, which is staffless and contactless, it just takes, especially for Gen Z who has huge battles where it comes to anxiety or, social awkwardness. This is great because it just gives them the confidence that I can go and, do what I need to do, my recovery, without having to deal with anybody because I just need that time for myself. It's just that added pressure sometimes we all feel that, irrespective of whether we are millennials, seniors, or Gen Z, is, constantly we have to dress up, we have to look a certain way if we are going out. Whereas with this concept, because I am confident I'm not going to run into it, anybody. I have clients who have come in the bathrobes to the studio because they just know that, I'm just going to come for a late night session at 10:30 p.m. because I've had a really stressful day. I've had a sore back and I just feel really low on energy and I just want to relax. I'm just going to pop my bathrobe on and I'm going to get there. I'm going to do my session and there's nobody that I need to deal with. It's just laser focused on me, myself, my recovery. And I think the other feedback we've received from Gen Z, making it completely contactless. Everything is done automation, but in a private room. So you are not in a group setting. So, for example, if you're going to the gym, it is a public space. You are going to be at any given time, even on a non busy time at a gym, like in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, there'd still be 20 bodies in the gym. You still have to pass people in the car park, at the reception, as you make your way through. Whereas with this, whatever time you're coming, you may meet one other person in the car park. If not, you're going straight to your private room. Door is shut, red light is glowing, and you go straight into your recovery. So I think
And
for
that,
Gen Z,
yeah.
those two, it's been a huge, and honestly, when we were designing this wasn't a thought we had. We just thought we're making it easier. But then the feedback that we've been receiving, we've just been blown away. And now that we put it all together, it makes total sense because when you do go for recovery, you just want it's me time. I don't want to be dealing with other people. I'm not doing coffee. I just want to have that time for myself to reset myself.
Yeah, that really is what differentiates you from everywhere else. It is private and you can go at any time you want. You don't have to socialize, no small talks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure that's a big reason why Gen Z loves it, especially since COVID, where everyone was so isolated. Like people are they kind of want their own space now, sort of. They got
Yes.
so used to having time on their own, just being on their phone.
Yeah, but there's lots of activities which are great in a group. Like, if you are going to a pump class, I'd love those, 10 other bodies in class because it's all about the cohesive energy. But
Mm.
recovery is very different. I personally believe recovery is very personal because how I feel and how you feel is going to be very, very different. So even if both of us are going to a recovery center together, we could walk in together, but then we could go to our separate rooms where you have your 60 minutes with your thoughts and you can recover in your own time and we both can finish because we do lots of times have couples or friends who come in, but they will be booked in at the same time but in separate rooms, so you can still come in together, so it's still a social thing if you want it to be, but at the same time in your own private spaces. And the other big one that we've had feedback from Gen Z is from turning it 24/7 because we've gone staffless. For the first time ever, we are one of those very few businesses I can say globally who have reduced their cost by 30%. So in the end, we have passed on the savings to our clients. As you know, inflation is through the roof and every single day, everything is costing us so much, whether it's groceries or it's rent, whereas we have gone against the grain and we have dropped our prices by 30%. Because idea is
Wow.
to make wellness more affordable and accessible with the 24/7.
That's beautiful. It shows you're very client focused. I haven't had a business say that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, especially because in this day and age, everything is costing you so much, and recovery is something which you really need when you're really kicked in the gut and you are at your rock bottom. So if we can find a way to make it more affordable for them, why not?
That's beautiful. Could you possibly share a memorable story of a Gen Z client or a group where that that you've worked with, perhaps one whose expectations were different from the older clients, and kind of walk us through how you've adapted your approach or offerings to meet their needs?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I have a beautiful story to share, which sort of combines Gen Z and senior. So we used to have one of our regular clients was one of our members. So like a gym, we also have recovery wellness memberships where you come in once or twice a week. So we have a client who has been with us for 3 years, a senior in mid 60s. She has arthritis, couple other health issues. Absolutely loves coming here. Her doctor is very happy. Her blood pressure is under control since she's been with us. Just really, really good overall. And she has a young granddaughter who is 19 at university and struggles with anxiety, struggles with just a lot of social anxiety, I think, overall, and especially because she started uni right in the middle of COVID, so everything was online, so wasn't used to
Mm,
large groups. And then coming out of COVID, and then she is training to be a nurse, the granddaughter. So she really struggled when she went and did her rotations at the hospital, because this is straight up into high pressure environment with, you are surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people. So the grandmother, who has always sort of raved about this to her entire family, finally convinced the granddaughter to come in for a session. And this is before we had gone, I think it was just a few weeks before we had gone 24/7. So I was there personally, and I remember assisting her, and she finished her session, and she came out, and she had tears in her eyes. And that was just for me. I had goosebumps, and then she just said that she was having a really difficult day. She had just finished her rotation at the hospital, was having a really difficult day, and she just felt like she wanted to quit. She couldn't continue anymore. And the grandmother kept insisting that, no, you must come with me. So she really didn't want to because she had no energy left. But just to keep the grandma happy, she said, fine, I'll come with you. So we had both of them coming together. Grandma didn't know what was going on with her. And grandma was doing a longer session. So grandma was still in her room, whereas I had a one-on-one chat with her because she finished earlier. And she just had this big cry, and she's like, you have no idea how much I really needed this. And because I didn't want to share that with my grandma, that I was feeling broken, and just the social anxiety was getting to me. I really feel like I wasn't doing my best. Whereas just doing that session, I felt like there was a huge weight off my shoulder. She said even she was in the TerraOrb, because your head is outside, but your body from your neck down is inside. She had a big cry, and she just felt like that was a big release she really needed. And she felt brave after that. And after we sort of had a chat, and in about 15 minutes, the grandmother came out and joined us. And I sort of, just gave in very short, I told the grandma what had happened. And yeah, it was just such a lovely sort of a family experience. And after that, the young granddaughter has become a regular client because she works at the hospital. She has brought in lots of other sort of nurses and doctor friends as well, because she can relay the benefits to them, especially the ones who have in high pressure jobs, doing shift works, doing late night shifts. So yeah, that was such a
amazing.
beautiful experience. And yeah, it's one of my favorite ones. I always tell people,
Yeah, that's really, really good from her going, no, she doesn't want to come. And then she
yeah,
did, and her whole world just changed.
pretty much. Yes. Yeah. And we just
That is
love being a part of
beautiful.
that journey.
Yeah, it's all about spreading the word now, isn't it?
It is 100%. And I think one of the things that we always constantly work on is what we do with TerraOrb and the active role and our offerings. Because it is so new, we find we have to spend a lot of time educating people, because people just assume it's a sauna. And we're like, it's not a sauna. Yes, it has elements of a sauna, but it has so much more to it. So I think we just have to spend a lot of time educating people on what it is and what the benefits are. But we're getting there. I think when you create something new, that's always going to be a challenge.
Yes, definitely. And so when you're in the orb, is there like relaxing music going on around you, or what's
Yes, there
the
is. So what
audio?
we do is we try and focus on all the five senses. So there is always aromatherapy in the room. So as soon as you sort of open the door and you walk in, it instantly relaxes you, because that beautiful fragrance just hits you. We do binaural beats music in the room. So it is all calming and relaxing to sort of reset, to bring your heart rate down if you have been in a stressful situation all day. So the temperature is controlled to that optimal, just to make sure you are not very hot, you're not very cold. Because you know how sometimes clinics can be a bit clinical, where it's just very, very cold and you're freezing and you need like
Yeah.
an extra blanket while you're getting a facial on. So we want to, so we're very particular about those things, about all your senses, whether it's temperature, it's the airflow, it's the smell, it's the music. So we're very particular about everything. I feel like it enhances the entire experience.
That's wonderful.
Mm.
Excellent. I love that. You've covered all bases there and really
Yeah.
thought through everything. You can tell you're so passionate about it. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about your current state in the business. What's working well for you right now, and what's kind of been frustrating for you?
Yeah, so with State of Wellness, because it's very, very new and we're getting the word out. So we have been recently awarded a preferred supplier by the Australian Fitness and Health. So this is an
Oh,
organization based in Eastern States. I think it's in Melbourne, and it's quite a prestigious organization. So to be, made a preferred supplier by them, it's great. So now we are looking at sort of reaching out to chains of gyms in Australia, like a Snap Fitness 24/7, like those ones, because a lot of gyms these days are adding recovery areas to the gyms. I don't know if you guys have Revo Fitness. We have a Revo in WA, it's quite a big chain here. They have about 30
Okay.
locations and they have a dedicated recovery space. The other one that we're focusing on is Pilates Studio because a lot of those have started to add recovery as well. Because quite common these days is for gyms to add like a sauna and an ice bath, contrast therapy. But it is very expensive to run it. It can be sometimes a bit unhygienic. It requires a lot of maintenance, plumbing with
Mm,
water and everything. Whereas we focus on everything that's non-invasive. It's very hygienic, very easy. We have the automated cleaning. So that's what we focus on. So I think our
yeah.
biggest challenge in business right now is to get the word out because as you know in Australia, everything we do in most of our industries is based on what happens in America. So if it's big in America, it sort of comes here 5 years later.
5 to 10
Whereas
years later.
because we are Australian, for us it's the
Yeah.
other challenge, and sometimes the location because we are based in WA in Perth. It is harder for us to get that visibility in eastern states. So that's
Yeah.
I think our biggest challenge right now is to just get more brand awareness going. We had a couple of interesting meetings. I had a trip to Europe, to Portugal 2 months ago. So we have had some interesting meetings with maybe some things in pipeline in future. So that might be
Mm,
coming up. And then we're also focusing on Asia and the Middle East market because, again, it's a numbers game. It's a large population, and there is a huge growth in the fitness and the recovery sector there. So, even though we are WA based, Perth based, we have sort of a global mindset to grow the business.
perfect. Yeah, the industry is growing so rapidly. I
Mm.
used to go to Anytime Fitness in Brisbane, and they got this recovery room with the leg compressions, massage guns, and gyms had never did that before. So now it's so on
Right.
the rise.
Yes,
It's just,
100%.
yeah, getting the word out and showing
And
the orb
so
and the
that's what,
active
yeah,
tool.
we're trying to, and also we're trying to help businesses, stand apart from the crowd. Because the most common things that gyms do now is, like you said, with the recovery room, there is compression boots, massage guns, massage chairs, and a sauna, or maybe an ice bath, which is very, very common across the board. Whereas we're trying to, provide them with something that's so new to the market. And in the end client is going to be very, very happy with it. But I think that's our challenge as well because most gyms do not want to be because our price point is a little bit different to those modalities, and sometimes for a business you may think that I want to add recovery but they're not going to look at each modality that they're adding in it. It's going to be that I have X amount of budget, what can I offer in recovery in 10K? Well, you can do
Yeah.
this, and this, but then you can't do everything. So that's, I think, because we are a bit more niche. So again, that's a challenge, but we're working through it.
Yeah, of course. What metrics are you more focused on improving, perhaps?
Currently, I think it's just about gaining brand visibility and brand
Yeah.
awareness. So those are the two metrics that we are focusing on. So Australia, so what we have done is we have sort of divided the world into Australia and so Oceania to do with Australia, New Zealand, sort of focusing here. And the other metrics that we are focusing on is to grow the brand, focusing as an Australian recovery brand, but in overseas markets. So we're looking at doing exhibitions in overseas. So we have the next one that we're looking at doing is in Riyadh in February next year. And it is with an organization called Beyond Active. So it's a global organization based in Singapore and they host these fitness and wellness expos all across the world. Because we've had a lot of interest from Middle East as well. Because another business case for our machines is they are made in such a way that they're very compact, they take very little space. So it's not just for commercial, but even for private homes. And in the Middle East, the people have large mansions, sort of really big houses. So that sort of clientele, your HNI individuals, your high network individuals, they would have their own gym in the house. They would have their own recovery station in the house. So these would be great additions to that. So that's also one area that we want to focus on.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of your outreach to these potential
Mhm.
clients, what's
Yes.
your outreach looking like in terms of marketing or lead
Yeah. So I
generation?
think currently we're focusing on performance marketing to it's mainly cold outreach, and that's how we first started with Europe. because I had a trip coming up to Europe. That's when we started with cold outreach few months before the trip. And then we did get some really good response with a few studios in Portugal, and we get the conversation going. And then when I visited, we had in-person meeting, because a lot of times where I think proximity matters quite a bit, because I can't just, get onto a flight and fly for 16 hours to go to Europe for a coffee. So I think
Yeah.
that sometimes, proximity makes it a bit harder. So I am planning over Christmas. I am going to spend 2 months overseas over December and January. And I'm going to be mainly based in Singapore and Middle East. And just going to do like a lot of networking event to get the word out there, and do book in as many meetings, with business owners, sort of see what challenges they have and how we can help them.
Amazing. That's exciting. Will you
Yeah.
be there over the Christmas and New Year's Eve period, or is it just before?
Yeah, so I'm planning to sort of, because as you know, in Australia, everything kind of, slows down come mid-December. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking around the 15th December, and then to spend the rest of Christmas, the entire January, because everything in here will come back to life in February once the kids are back at school. So January
Yeah.
is pretty slow as well in terms of work. Whereas I find in overseas, especially Asia and Middle East, it's just business as usual. So that gives me that extra time to focus on those markets while things are chilling here in Australia.
That's perfect timing then.
Correct, yes.
And touching base on 2026 there, where do you see
Mm.
yourself in the next 12 to 6 months?
In the next 12 to 6 months, because our preferred supplier badge from Australian Fitness and Health just came through a few weeks ago, we're really focused that in the next 6 to 12 months, we want to crack and get through the door with a couple of large gym chains in Australia. So it could be Snap Fitness, it could be Anytime, like one of those, because they all are growing with their recovery section. Or it could be
Yeah,
Plus Fitness, there's Planet. So there's a few of those. So I really want to make that happen in the next 12 months. And we're hoping it will. We have had some response from few of the gym chains, but most of the headquarters are always in Sydney. So again, it's maybe basing myself there for a month and then trying to see what we can make it happen. But yeah, that's kind of the goal for Australia. And then for overseas is to open up in Middle East. We're looking at, we might do either a wellness center collaboration with a local spa where they would have our machines, and we can also use it as a showroom. So that's our focus area for 2026. So Australia plus to have one another showroom overseas.
yeah, wonderful. So lots of
Mm.
expansions and getting the word out there.
Yes, lots of expansion, lots of growth. I'm really focused on that.
Yeah, beautiful. It's very exciting for you.
Thank you.
So if you had a magic wand, for example, what would
Mhm.
one major challenge be that you would solve?
Major challenge in business.
Yeah,
I think if it would be one of my favorite things, it's a dream of mine, and I know I'm going to make it happen one day, is I want to be on Shark Tank. Because I really think that the product that we have at TerraOrb, it is incredible.
yeah,
And it's such a brilliant invention. We can help so many people. We can help so many businesses. And I think the visibility you get about, getting on Shark Tank, I think that would be brilliant. Not just for the funding, but also I think the networking, the contacts, the doors it would open for us. I think that would be brilliant. So I've applied for the last 2 years. We haven't made it through, but that's okay. You keep applying, you keep trying, and I'm
yeah.
pretty relentless. I don't give up easy. So I'm going to keep going at it. So if I had a magic wand, I would be on TV on Shark Tank, and I would get the deal.
Amazing. Yeah, that would open up such big opportunities for you, especially because
Yeah.
you have full trust in the product. You're so passionate and yeah, like it literally covers all bases and it's literally for
Yeah, and
everyone.
now with the spa, we have like thousands of testimonials. So it's not just me saying we've got a great product. We have thousand other people saying this is a great product. We're using it daily. Makes such a big difference. And also on a side note, one of my other personal journey through the Terra Orb, which I didn't know at the start because I did it for my ankle, was I was diagnosed with fibroids a bit later. And I've, sort of struggled with heavy period, massive cramping. And anyone who has
Mm.
endometriosis or fibroids will tell you it's not like regular period pain. It's pretty much you've got to wipe off, about 3 to 5 days off your calendar. You're in bed, you are in intense pain. I used to go through at least 7 to 8 Nurophens per day just to function. Now I take zero painkillers, nothing at all. I'm pretty consistent in my periods, so I will make sure that the week I'm going to get my periods, I'm doing a 30-40 minute session every day of the orb. And then when I
Wow.
get my periods, I have no cramping, I have no pain at all. Again, it's temporary. My most bodies, it's kind of takes care of the inflammation and the cramping for 28 to 48 hours. That's why if I do my orb session daily, I feel great. There's no pain. And that's sort of, giving me so much energy back. I don't have those, 5 days a month where I'm like useless in bed in pain. I can still go to work. I can still dance. I can just be me. So I think
Wow.
that was a yeah, like a happy side effect I found through it. And similar to my story, I have so many stories with arthritis. Clients have gone back to the doctors, reduced their pain medication. People struggling with fertility, this has been great to do a detox when they were doing the IVF treatment. So we have like thousands of great testimonials about this product. So yeah, very, very confident. So give me that magic wand and we will help a lot of people.
That is amazing. I've never come across that. The fact that it's literally helped your
Yeah.
cramping from
Yes.
so
Oh,
severe to
huge.
barely anything at all. That's
Correct.
big. That's very
It's
big.
huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Wonderful. All right. And Maitri, this has been an incredible, insightful conversation about navigating such a wonderful industry, and your product is absolutely amazing. I want to learn more. Where can people find you if they want to learn more, or if they're interested in learning more about you and your product and your services, your businesses?
Absolutely. So our website is stateofwellness.ai because we are all about AI and using automation, artificial intelligence as we go forward. So all the information's on the website. They can get in touch with me at discover@stateofwellness.ai. Jump onto our socials, Instagram, we're very active there, TikTok, our YouTube channel. So we have plenty of ways you can get in touch with us. And if
Amazing.
anybody who's listening, if they want to come try it, and if you are in Perth, you're very welcome to come and give it a go. Or if you are a business or a homeowner anywhere in the world and would like to try it or have this in your home or your business, yeah, just get in touch with us and we'd love to help you out.
Amazing. We'll leave all those links below, guys. Thank you so much, Maitri.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Love chatting to you. And hopefully we get to do this again in a few years after we go on Shark Tank.
Yes, that would be amazing. All right. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.